Good morning, everybody. Well, I hope you had great one-on-one sessions. Some still do have, which is fine. So thank you for listening. Should I give you two more minutes? So we're starting this off. Obviously, I'm standing in the middle here, so obviously the topic is about AI, and so many people were asking AI, how can I utilize the technology, but also how does this combine with my commercial strategy, and what does that have to do with innovation? So some quick words about myself. My name is Christian Gleich, and I'm the co-founder and also the international ambassador to the European Blockchain Association, which we founded in 2016 out of the need for education to that topic of blockchain. And over time, we did not only help the country of Liechtenstein set up their Liechtenstein Blockchain Act, which gave us quite some reputation. So we were called into other regulators, and one of which is, for example, VARA, one of which is QFC in Qatar. And we helped them set up their blockchain and also DeFi strategy, which all has a broader implication to so many other things, talking about taxes and so on. So over time, it was not only blockchain, but it was clear that things on the blockchain will be, for example, tokens. And then people were asking, like, how can we utilize AI way before generative AI? So this is what we kept ourselves busy. I'm basically here in the region talking to so many regulators, but also corporates, and help them advise them on their AI strategy, also blockchain strategy, and the combination, the converging of those technologies. So it all normally starts with this I wish moment. I wish I could be faster. I wish I could organize my daily work more efficient. I wish I could actually have a better outcome on what I do. I wish I could work less, basically. Why not do in 5 hours what you could do in 8 hours? Let's utilize AI. I have no clue how this goes. I wish somebody would help me. So this is the I wish moment where it all starts. And then basically the question is about the strategic integration of AI, but also the question that you have to ask yourself about your way to go forward. Is it strategy you want to align, or is it you have that challenge? Is it my employees are too slow in what they do? Is it why does my ROI not go up while we're working so quickly, so heavily, but maybe it should be more efficiently? So the question is, what are your business objectives? And another idea that you have to take care about is how are you handling issues? Could you solve them with AI? Could you solve it easier? So there's a great example. I don't know who of you has scanned this QR code outside on the high tables. And if you normally go to conferences, you basically have to scroll through a gazillion of pictures from day one, another gazillion of pictures from day two, and try to find yourself. With that technology, which is AI basically, which is facial recognition in this case, you scan the code, you take a selfie of yourself, and the AI recognizes you on all the pictures that are being taken during those 2 days. And that's what I mean with issue handling. Like, I have this issue, I'm wasting my time on scrolling through pictures while I want to see myself on the pictures. How can I optimize it? Well, Premagic is the company behind that QR code, has solved this to perfection. And it gives it to you on WhatsApp, so you don't have to subscribe to anywhere. You don't basically give your data to somebody. It's all on WhatsApp. It's super convenient. So that's what I mean with issue handling. Strategic planning is also what you have to do. What do I want to solve with AI? How would I engage with AI? If you don't know, well, you can ask me. But that's actually part of the advice that we give. Which parts are you starting with in your business? So a business and use case obviously has to be aligned with what you do. So it doesn't make sense if you want to be more efficient using AI, and then you're just using generative AI to produce pictures. Well, you're using AI, but it doesn't help you at all. And then it's also the focus on you're easily being pulled into all that AI rabbit hole, trying to use AI everywhere because it's so helpful. But stay focused for the very beginning and stick with the idea, with the first focus, with the first priorities you had, why you wanted to use AI, and then take it step after step into other disciplines of AI. So navigating this AI ecosystem isn't too easy. I guess you've all heard about ChatGPT. Some of you may have heard or even used Copilot on Microsoft devices in the future, directly built into Microsoft devices, which technically is also driven by ChatGPT, and the parent company is OpenAI, if you've heard that or not. There's so many others that do a great job, and they basically have a different meaning and a different way to go forward to so many things you can do with AI. I wouldn't go too deep into what all these tools can do, but think about your growth. If you want to enhance growth, increase your growth, be better, increase ROI, for example, AI is a great growth catalyst. Why? Because you can use it, but you also have to train it. So it's not like I buy a software, I press a button, here we go. But if you the better you train it, the better it gets. So it's work in the beginning, but then it's all worth it because it makes you so much quicker and so much faster. Like the example that I mentioned from this QR code. I give you some other examples afterwards. AI is actually great for automation, cross-industry. So if we talk about sneaking through patients' files, for example, and analyzing sicknesses, analyzing diagnosis for smart health, for example, it's so much quicker, and it would help us in the future so much quicker to basically cure uncurable diseases today, because it's so much quicker through automation, through sifting through all these data and data sets. And that's cross-industry. Smart health is one point, but there's also so many others. Basically, all the industries can use AI or some disciplines of AI. I don't want to go into all the disciplines of AI because it's many. AI basically is about 30 years old. So everybody talks about generative AI, everybody talks about ChatGPT, which is fine, which is great tools, which got all the PR attention. But in the end, we're talking about machine learning, deep learning, other disciplines of AI, but so many people are asking me like, well, LLMs and ML, and what does this all stand for? So basically, machine learning is an older discipline of AI, and machine learning takes care about numeric data, structured data, which we once called big data. Obviously, big data as a buzzword is gone for no reason, because what we have right now when we talk about AI, data that we use and data that we feed into our models for AI is big data, real big data. So it's not the controller that takes care about numbers in your company, so you can take care about data as well. No. If you want to play it properly, you actually should engage in a data architect or data scientist if you don't have. So we're talking about a professional setup. We're talking about some money that you'd have to take in the hands to engage in those people, but they're worth every penny normally because they understand how to structure data. If you have these piles of data and data sets, you have to structure them, no doubt. So that's an old discipline. Machine learning takes care about numeric data. But LLMs that we're talking about these days, which is ChatGPT, so you can create better text than you would be able to write, or basically create interactions like in chat bots, for example. That's LLMs, and it means large language models. And large language models is not numeric data, but it's basically unstructured data. That being said, it's not text data, but it's text that's converted into numbers for AI to understand. And AI doesn't understand text. But AI understands patterns, AI understands numbers, so that text is basically translated into numbers behind the scenes, which you normally never see. So people ask me, so LLMs, ChatGPT, is that generative AI? What is generative AI in general? So I put that together. So there's a difference. Generative AI and LLMs is a bit different. Generative AI is what you see in these fancy pictures that you will see in my presentation after that slide, that you can easily create and redo over and over again. And you have like this huge number of generated AI-generated pictures, for example, and they all differ to some sort. But also, there had to be training data. So each and every time, by the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but each and every time you're using a instance of ChatGPT, an instance of any other LLM model, you're training the data. You're training the data to create these pictures, for example. Generative AI is more the parent discipline, I would say, and LLMs is basically focusing this on text, chatbots, and so on. So these are the pictures I was talking about. I'm not that savvy to create these pictures, AI is. After my prompt, so this is what you do, you prompt into a text field what you want, and mostly to a certain extent, the picture comes out that you want, and then you can tweak it. So no, I don't want it like this, I just want more it like this. So that's actually what these pictures do. AI is an innovation catalyst, not only for pictures, because maybe you can't use pictures for your business, you just want to know how can I structure my business different, how can I make my employees more efficient, how can I be more efficient. So many of you may have assistants, EAs, who are human, which is fine because they can do so many great tasks and take the workload away from you, make you more efficient. That being said, there's a lot of repetitive work which they actually don't like to do, and you can easily outsource that into AI models, into AI assistants that help you better. So you have to find out, is there an AI and a fit to your AI and the business case you have? As I said, I'm just going to show you some examples in a second. What does it mean, AI and business use case? And also the business objectives that you have. What do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on growth? Is my company not efficient enough? Do I need more efficiency? Do I need to produce quicker? Do I need to innovate quicker? There are methodologies, obviously, to do this, where AI now can help you way more than putting 10 people in a room and just brainstorm. And also, if you do all these things, you then have to measure and feed the feedback into the system, saying like, well, what you helped me was great, but maybe not great enough to the extent I was expecting. So the AI would ask you, what were you actually expecting? So I was actually expecting more revenue. I was expecting quicker turnover times, longer shelf life, whatever it is. And as soon as you address this properly enough to the AI, it will help you to tweak itself, which is very, very comfortable. As I said, it's some work in the very beginning, but then it pays off. What you also have to do is wanting to dip into AI. That doesn't often happen, which we'll see on the next slide. People are basically forced to talk about AI, to implement AI. Why? Because they have this challenge, they have this issue I was mentioning before, and it's not only the issue and the challenge that you have, but it's also the idea how you want to go forward with which technology. I don't know which technology I should use, maybe I don't do it, but then you're missing out and you're falling behind. And that's what you don't want. So the desired outcome of AI-driven transformation obviously is automation, which then leads into efficiency. So the transformation and process plan, like process plan that you know from other projects that you do, but the transformation and process plan has to also be set up for AI. How do I go forward, like very methodological, magical maybe, I don't know, to have a strategy how to go forward with your AI strategy and what tools you use and how you intertwine them. That means you have to build an AI expertise internally. I was just mentioning about the data architects that you definitely will need in the future because of this large pile of data sets. So the AI expertise is not negotiable, basically. It has to be there. And if you knew how many of your competitors are using AI and having that strategy already and also having that internal knowledge, you would be quite surprised. Knowledge core and the data sets you have to build. Like, you have so much data from the past that maybe is somewhere in the dark corner, which you have to activate, which you have to use to train AI, but also to learn about your own data sets. What does this data that I have actually mean? Because some companies, a lot of companies actually don't know what the data means they have. So what has to be done, not going into detail with this, but what has to be done is basically taking the data that you have that I just mentioned, put some data science on it to make it quicker in this presentation, and then get the value out that you want. Of course, you have some constraints with it, as always, which have to do with data privacy, with legal issues, and so on. But this is how we go forward with our clients to advise them to actually find out what has to be done, and we use this chart as sort of a checklist, how to go forward, and ask them, well, do you have expertise in this? Do you need help with this? How can we help you go forward with this? Revolution AI, and in all the industries, I was talking about the examples before, so here they come. There is a transformative effect to AI, and so many companies ask us, like, can we really use AI? We've been doing well in the past, so should we really use AI? Yes. So we were helping a large global executive search firm because what they do is manually scrape through CVs. So they advertise a position, then they get a large number of applications to that position, and then you have people manually scraping through those CVs, which is ridiculous, right? So we said to them, they didn't approach us. We said to them, you can be basically 50% quicker, maybe 70%, but you shouldn't overpromise. You could easily be 50% quicker. How? So if you match the numbers, like the position number, for example, and the applicants that have to put that number, find that number on the internet, obviously, from their company, listing the jobs, and putting the CV into play, you have still a number of CVs. But what if you could basically prompt or order the AI to find a ranking in percentages, in priorities, in school grades, whatever you want, to find out which of those applications fits best to the actual job description? And right now, they're way higher than 50% more efficient and quicker per position to be taken out of the market, but put the candidate into the companies. And the other example I brought to you, and there are many more, obviously, but is knowledge management. Like, think of your internet. Like, the UI doesn't only look outdated, but it feels outdated to, like, log on the internet and then trying to find the document that you wanted, and then you don't find it because you didn't spell it right, or you actually were looking for that old client's contract that you were creating, and they didn't know, your colleagues don't know where to find it because they don't know the name of the client. There is some sort of contract. Well, think of the internet as being no platform, being no AI with forms and fields, but there's only one field, and you type in, I'm looking for that old contract. It should have been somewhere between August and September last year. I don't recall the client's name, but it was all about our services X or Y. And if you find that document, can you please tweak it with a new amount that we're offering to that new client, the new client's name, and send me both the old file and a new file so I can compare? That's basically state-of-the-art knowledge management, and not the internet as we know it. If you talk about onboarding documents, for example, for HR, it's all in that play. The convergence of technologies, when you talk about AI, blockchain, and IoT, for example, sensoring, a lot of times we hear, well, actually we're a production company, we're not a data company, right? Absolutely, we're too busy right now to actually implement this. I guess it's another IT project. We cannot do this right now. Well, I can tell you, if you don't do it now, you're going to be out of business in 2 years. It's that easy. Because everybody engages to some extent into whatever tool it is from AI, and they're going to overtake you easily, and it's your competitors who overtake you. So there is no excuse, we're no data company. Because you are a data company, because you're collecting data for so many times, but nobody knows who has it, right? Internally. You save that competitive advantage for you, and if the integration is done right, you're gaining an advantage over your competitors. Another example that I brought to you, talking about the convergence of those technologies, we were working together with the biggest blueberry farmer in Colombia. Guess it's blueberries. And what they do is basically put AI and blockchain and sensors to sense the weather, but also the soil and the growth of their plants, and put it all into a data model, and basically produce by every data point they find and they produce, they basically have this huge data stack, which AI, again, uses, is being trained on automatically, and then basically being fed into the system again to gain a better efficiency of producing and maybe using less water because of all those sensoring data. Accelerating into the future means you should embrace AI for your future acceleration, because it either helps you survive because you haven't yet tapped into AI, or it helps you survive and actually accelerate more than your competitors do. It gives you smarter tomorrow, faster tomorrow. Your employees will be faster, they'll be more efficient, and more efficiency brings more efficiency, because in the age of AI, AI basically does make itself smarter. So it basically outpaces you even more with your manual work, because it learns to be better and quicker by itself, if you train it right. However, and that's my last slide, the chief AI data scientist from Meta had a quote which is quite interesting, because he said a 4-year-old in its 4 years of wake time has produced more information, 50 times more, than the biggest LLM we have today. Which means we're doing pretty well with AI right now, with all the large models that we know from these large global companies, but we're absolutely not there. So if you think you can be more efficient with the AI of this state-of-the-art 2024, think of 2025 and 2030. For example. So he calculates how he finds it's 50 times, the kids with 4 years old are 50 times have more experience and more pictures basically to count on, and the quickness of the speed of calculating what they find and comparing that to their existing experiences is much quicker than LLMs. But then over time, we don't learn so quickly after being 4. But LLMs will do. So they will outpace us. And then people ask me, oh, will AI take my job? Well, actually, no. A person that uses AI will take your job. Thanks for your attention.